Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment, episode 184, Sold with Updike Pugh. I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today, given the history of what we've been through as far as temperatures and where we're headed with temperatures, we thought it'd be really important to talk about how to protect your home this summer when it's 100 plus degrees. Do you like how I made that little glowing hot?
I did.
Kind of went with it. Kind of took that and ran.
You know, one of the biggest investments that people can make in their house is their landscaping. And that includes the yard, that includes, includes the grass, shrubberies, all of that. And one extreme adventure with temperatures up or down can wipe it out.
I think we all saw that like 2 years ago when we had the February freeze that lasted for 9 days or something.
Something like that.
We're about to head into another scenario where we're about to have ridiculous temperatures. And I think this is one of those times when we wanted to really talk about how important it is to make sure that your sprinkler is performing properly and that it is also set to be optimal for both the plants and for the amount of evaporation that happens. So that really is important for them to water long enough to actually encourage roots to go down deeper, water infrequently, and also make sure that those heads are spraying where they should be. I can't tell you how many of mine I found that were spraying at the actual house.
Well, and that can cause issues with the home because brick is porous. And so brick will take that water, absorb it. It can, go under your house and be of no use other than to create mold or problems like that.
Yep, I know that for sure. The other thing too, and I know this firsthand, is that this is the second year in a row that we have had, I think it's Living Earth has come and dropped off. First year was 7 cubic yards. This year was 5 cubic yards of cedar mulch. So cedar mulch is great because it starts to layer up, and I've noticed we have so many fewer weeds now because it's so deep.
Yeah.
But also bugs don't like that. Now it's a little bit. It's not going to get rid of all the bugs, but I can tell that it has made a difference in our backyard.
Absolutely. You talk about watering. That was really everything on that. I thought. Yeah. Next item was reduce your fire risk. During the hot summer, things get dried out, and it just absolutely increases the risk you have for fires.
And I think Adrian is having a tree removed or did yesterday because it had died. But that's a perfect example of creating a fire hazard. As it begins to deteriorate and land. One of the other places that I think that a lot of us forget about is behind, if you have an alley on the other side of the fence. If you're not mowing that, and that does get really tall in the spring because there's water and because it's about a perfect time, when that all dies down, that is the perfect place for a spark to catch. And how many times have we heard you have a transformer that explodes or that the wires come down because of a windstorm,
or somebody flips a cigarette out driving down the alley.
Be preventative. And if anyone knows about fire, it is me. And it is not prejudiced. It takes everything.
Stepping back over to your house, the third item is protect your foundation. What do you think they ought to do?
So if it's slab, I think that you've got to either manually put soaker hoses around. If you're on a sprinkler, you've got to make sure that is set. And a lot of times, what people make the mistake of is that they put that soaker hose right up against their foundation. And that's not correct. It needs between 10 and 14 inches away, and it needs to run long enough that it creates a wetness around there that stabilizes and keeps a constant moisture level and doesn't allow these shifts to happen to your foundation.
We have a lot of clay content in our soil, and clay expands and contracts at a much greater rate than normal soil does. 100%. And so the goal, as Weston said, is really keep the water consistency the same year round so your house doesn't move, so your doors don't shift where they won't close in the spring and then they shift and they got a gap in the winter. You can prevent that.
Absolutely. And last but not least is insulation. So on my inspection report, I was told that I needed to add insulation when I bought the house. Did I? I waited 2 years. I suffered through the first winter or the first summer and realized, man, it's just not quite getting cool enough. Well, after you add 19 inches of insulation in your attic, it's amazing that your house can hit 74 with no problem during the day when no one's there. And at night, it's a wonderful 68. So it was really surprising at how much that insulation made a difference.
It really does. Adrian and I were just talking about that last night because I think we've got to do that to his.
It is a game changer, and I don't know why I didn't think about doing it right away, because on Manette, the house that we featured in the first half of the show, They actually are 2x6 building studs that are actually foamed. And I remember when we had that house in August with 3,000 square feet, it was $176, and that was with us staying at 72 all the time. It is amazing. If you are a foamed house, it is a huge deal.
I'll be interested to see what your summer bills are this year.
It's so interesting because we got home from Puerto Vallarta and it was 74 degrees when we walked in, and Jason had said that he had left it set on vacation mode for 79. So that meant that the house never even got to 79 degrees to cool off, which is weird. But
That's great.
Hey, I'll let you know how it goes on bills.
Well, I hope y'all found this helpful. If there are any topics you want us to talk about, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to make that happen. If you're considering buying or selling a home, we would love to make that happen for you too.
And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.